Today's your lucky day. You're going to learn how to do one of these. If you don't know what it is, turn it off. If you do, stick around. Okay, welcome back. Like I always been true to you guys, so I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I was doing dishes, and I thought I could do this, so I shot a video, 15 minutes, and had to garbage the whole thing. So I learned something. You always keep your camera lady. Yes, Mary, you always keep your camera lady. Now, Jeannie, put down your coffee right now because you're going to blow it all over your TV. Okay, so what we are going to do is change the alternator. So, basically, the reason we're doing the alternator is because, you know, the way my stupid mind works is that the truck's 7 years old. I've never changed it. And I charge my truck battery, I charge my solar batteries, and if my solar batteries go down, I basically use it for a battery charger is what I do, which you're not supposed to do, but don't tell nobody because we don't want them to know. But, so you take the 7 years and you divide it up and you say, yes, Bads, this thing's going to kick you right in the butt. So I say, okay, we're going to put new in. It's still working, but it's just a safety factor. Usually when we were working for the big trucking companies, they would say 4 years, 4 to 5 years, put new alternator in it, new alternator starter. So that was my theory on it. So we decided this year we'll put an alternator on it. It still works, but you know where it's going to break down. Either the truck's in 3 feet of mud, or you're out in the middle of the desert, like 90 miles from nowhere, and you have no friends around because you got no friends. So that's usually when it's going to go. So we'll change it now, and then we'll probably be all right. So if you look in here, now the thing I want you to notice about this alternator is that it's 160 amps. Like if you hook this thing up the right way, you can arc weld with it. So at 160 amps, this baby doesn't owe me a penny. So basically what you have to do is just take the 2 bolts out of here and the belt off. Now the belt tool, all I use is, I'll show you the tools in a minute. Take the 2 wires off. Now what I do is I take the wires off very carefully and I tape the ends up. I don't unhook the battery because then you got to go in and reprogram your radio and all your electronic stuff and yada yada yada. I don't do that. I just take the ends off and tape them up so that they don't hit any metal. Take the alternator. You're only in there for 5 minutes. So that's basically what I do. And it works just fine. It's very, very easy to do. So now I'll show you what tools I use. Okay, so we got all hooked up. I have 2 meters. One is a multimeter, which I checked the battery before we started, and it's 1288. And going to the solar batteries is 1287. So when we start it up, we'll see what it charges. Now I got another one here. This is old school with stuff. This is I call it the idiot tool because this one here, you hook it up and it'll tell you exactly what it's doing. And if you got a light on, you do exactly what the light says. This here is probably one of the best setup you can buy, and they're cheap. Like I think you can get these like for 20 bucks now. So anyway, I'm going to start it up, and don't worry, the exhaust leak's the next thing to get fixed. $14.56. That's a good sign. And then you hook this one up. Because even when you're a smart guy like me, you still have to have tools that tell you you're not that smart, idiot. You hook this one up. Right? No lights are on. Life's good. Okay, so there you go. That's how hard it is. Now, like I told you before, the reason we changed the alternator, because you know it's going to go. Like, it's just, you know it's going to go. And I know somebody watches this video has already done the math on it. So I'm kind of interested to see what the number is. Like, how much did it cost me a year for that alternator? Not very much. Cheaper than solar and cheaper than buying a generator. So, just remember, this is a 160 amp alternator. So this is like an arc welder. There's one bigger than that, but then you have to change belts and pulleys, and I didn't want to do that. It's 200 amps. And now, a 160 amp alternator is as big as they put on Class 8 trucks, the big Kenworths and Freightliners and that. So this is a pretty hefty alternator. And you see the size of it, it's about half the size of a Kenworth alternator. So, like, how many years would it go? We got 7 out of this, so I'm thinking we don't push this baby too far. So anyway, that's done. Simple job. Now this is that ratchet I was telling you about. Now this is the ratchet. This is an extra long one, but just get a ratchet like this, an adapter like this. This one goes from half to 3/8, and I got one that goes from 3/8 to half, and that'll go on almost every one of your belt tensioners. They're either half, 3/8, 13 or 15 mil are mostly what they are. So you just put a 15 mil socket on there, and just remember it only goes one way. One way it loosens up, the other one's tight. Go the tight way, and that takes the belt off. So I hope you got a little bit out of this. I know a lot of people won't agree with changing alternator when it's not faulty, but I don't care. I'm the guy that has to change it on the side of the road. So, like I always say, I'm not asking. So that's how you change an alternator on a Dodge. Now, some of them are a little harder. Fords are a little bit of a pain, but the good thing about it is take a look at your alternator. See how long it's been on there. And see how hard it is to change. Because, I don't know about you, but when I had a 4-wheel drive service truck, when did this stuff break? When you're up to your knees in mud. So that's why I always do this stuff sitting in a garage or in a muddy old field when there's no pressure on you. So I hope you got something out of that. Got any questions, put it down below. And that's all I got for you. Thank you very much.